Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I want to go over my review of the Denafrips Pontus II 12th Anniversary Edition DAC. Alright, so first off, this Pontus II DAC is built like a beast. If you look at every review, everybody says it and it's freaking true. You pick the thing up, it's 18 pounds. It is hardcore, it is built really tight, and that, in my opinion, always comes across as a positive sign. I bought this unit used from the music room. It's a fantastic DAC. There's a lot of publicity on this thing. There's a lot of followers that really like it. A lot of fan base behind this DAC. And so I decided to buy it and check it out. So first off, the reason why I got this DAC. So I bought the streamer, as you saw from one of my other videos. I got a streamer for my dedicated music, 2-channel music, and I got the Eversolo DMP A6. Fantastic streamer for the price, not too expensive. The DAC it utilizes is an ES9038 Q2M DAC, and it's a great DAC, super clear, but when I play my music on my speakers, my system, the highs are pretty bright, and I listen to music pretty loud, honestly. I listen to all different kinds of music, and so for me, I needed something that's going to give me clarity and not get fatiguing. So with the Eversolo, playing it through my system and my speakers, after a while, because I listen to it so loud, it gets fatiguing to the ears. And I think that's because the highs are so high. It's just bright. It's fairly bright. It's very detailed. I crank this thing up, and with my system, it is loud and it is clear, but it just is a little bit fatiguing to the ears. So I decided to get the DAC. And I wanted something that's going to give a little more warmth to the sound, okay, to kind of dampen those highs. So did my research, looked at a ton of different DACs, again, decided on this Denafrips Pontus II, got it used, so got it for a really good price. And it utilizes the R2R DAC architecture, which is a resistor to resistor technology. And that essentially is just converting the digital signal to the analog signal differently than the chip DACs, okay? Looking up those two the differences between those two, usually the chip DACs have a little bit brighter sound. The R2R DACs, the way it's because it's a resistor to resistor, essentially gives you a little bit warmer sound and so forth. And so generally speaking, a DAC is a digital to analog conversion. So just changing that binary code of ones and zeros into the analog soundstage or domain, however you want to say it. So when I do an A/B testing from utilizing my Eversolo DMP A6 DAC, the 9038, and I turn it up and I can distinctly tell the difference in the soundstage, the width of it, the spaciousness of it. It just seems a little all in front of you. It seems like all the music is kind of in front of you. The sound doesn't sound like it's coming from my left and right. It sounds like it's coming down the middle. So like the centering, the stage is really good on that. But all the music's all right up front. And I didn't notice the difference until I hooked up the Pontus II. As soon as I hooked that up, and I played the music at the same volume, and I did A/B comparisons, and not just me, other people in my house have done the A/B comparison. You can distinctly tell the difference that with the Pontus II, the sound stage is wider, the sound stage is deeper, and for me, the biggest difference is the decay of the music. So especially in like solos. If you listen to music that has a lot of solo type music, I listen to a lot of country, and when someone is singing, you can hear the music in the background have that like ting. And you can hear when he stops singing, or whoever a solo is singing, a solo artist is singing, and as soon as her voice stops, it doesn't just stop like the 9038 DAC would, like the Eversolo DMP A6 sounds. And it's very clear, and it sounds really good, very clear. But until you hear an R2R DAC that has that decay, where it sounds like you're in this hall, and if anybody's ever been to a concert or in an auditorium where there's like a little bit of the, I don't know, just that auditorium type sound, when someone stops singing, there's a little trail off to it. It's bong, you know, sounds funny, but it just sounds better. It just sounds more analog, okay? And it sounds better. It sounds better to my ears. Yes, absolutely, it's subjective. Yes, everybody's gonna have their own opinion, and that's fine. But for me, the Eversolo is a great streamer, and it works great, and it sounds great. But when you add a softer or warmer DAC to it, it's gonna just come alive, and it's a great combination. I'm sure there's a lot of other DACs that would also sound really good with that Eversolo. But for me, I got the Pontus II 12th anniversary edition. It utilizes, again, the R2R, the resistor to resistor digital analog conversion, and it's super accurate. They say these resistors are like to 0.001% clarity or precision. It's ridiculous. So if you look on the Denafrips website, it says that the Pontus, it's a true balanced mono resistor to resistor network array DAC. Each channel has its own integrated high-speed control decoding by the means of 0.01% R2R network. Low digital noise to ensure that the audio signal has low distortion, very low background noise. So when that music stops, or that singer or soloist stops singing and that decay ends, it's black in the background. And that's what you want listening to music. You want that sucker to be dead black. I don't want to hear any of that digital noise in the background. It takes away from the experience, especially at nighttime when you're laying down listening to music. Man, you want it just to be dark except for that sound. The clocks on this thing, which the onboard reclocking system, these things are excellent. For good music, we all want better three-dimensional sound, right? We want a wider sound stage, like, you know, you can hear the drums over here, and then you hear the percussion over here, and you want a deeper sound stage. So you want this three-dimensional sound stage. You don't want to hear everything coming from like a speaker right in front of you. That's just not what we all want. It just doesn't sound as good. And so the Pontus II gives you that three-dimensional sound. There are two different types of modes: oversampling, non-oversampling. There's a light on, and I'll show you guys on here. So when the light is on, it's on non-oversampling, which is how I like it. I don't want any digital reconversion. I don't need any additional anything. I don't want any oversampling to happen. So I want non-oversampling, which means the light is on. And that's how I prefer it. If you have the light off, it is in oversampling mode. And is what the oversampling mode actually does is it can take a PCM 44.1 kilohertz or 48 kilohertz sound signal and take that audio data and upsample it to the maximum rate of, 936 or over 1,000 PCM hertz. And I just don't like any upsampling to my music. Again, my whole goal is to try to get it more authentic, more visceral, like you're there. I don't want that digital noise. Just seems a tad bit more warmer when the oversampling is off, and it sounds a little bit more like you're there listening to them on stage. All right, guys, as far as the input outputs on the back of the unit, has everything you pretty much need. So for analog coming out, you have the XLRs, you have RCAs. For the digital side, you have two coax coming out. You have I2S, you have optical, AES, and another USB, I think it's type B, coming out. So you have pretty much everything you need to go into any kind of system that you have. All right, guys, highly recommended product. Love the R2R sound. Makes a world of difference with the A6. And I know the A6 Eversolo is an entry-level streamer. So you're not getting the greatest components in there. It, for me, I'm just utilizing it as a transport. It plays the music. It goes into my dedicated DAC. The DAC converts it to analog. I come out with RCAs into my receiver. And the sound is freaking amazing. So highly recommended product. Check it out. There's a ton of different DACs out there, but the one that I recommend, the one I bought personally, is the Denafrips Pontus II, and it sounds amazing. All right, guys, so if you have any questions, concerns, any feedback, please comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.